Graham Horton and welcome to this video. Now in this video I have another product review for you, and it's for a new tripod from the company NEEWER, the model TP63, and this comes from the folded length of 63 centimeters. Now you are provided with this carry bag for the tripod, but that's one of the issues I have with it. The bag is just a little bit too small to carry the whole tripod. When you've got the head assembled on the tripod and legs closed up against it, it's very difficult to get this into the case. Here on screen you can see the basic specifications of the TP63 tripod from NEEWER. Well, I just take this out of the case. So I've managed to get it in there with the head assembled. You also get a smartphone adapter, so you can actually put a smartphone adapter onto the top of the ball head rather than a traditional camera. Again, pull this one down to the bottom position, pull it back out again, pull this one down and pull it back in again. So the tripod has got three positions, and by releasing the little clip on the side here, if I just pull that down, I can set this up to the second angle. So that's what we'll be using in this video. Pull it down, release it up to the second position, pull it down, release it up to the second position, and that gives me a firm tripod for low angle shots. If you wanted the higher tripod base, then you can just take this back to the second setting, which will be there. And now you can extend the legs to the height you want. They aren't friction locks, they're total lever locks, so again just pull each one down as you need them. Always start with the longest and firmest legs first before you extend the lower ones, which are much thinner section. So we'll take out two sections. So that is the two sections of the legs extended. So you can see the height is already up to about 4 foot. Now you are provided with a ball head with the system, and it's a 3/8 fit, not the standard quarter ones you get on some of the lighter ones. So it's a 3/8 fit. Now the beauty of this tripod is the fact that you can use it in a horizontal plane. So apart from being a vertical tripod with a payload of 10 to 15 kilograms, so that's quite a high payload for a tripod of this size, you can bring the arm horizontal, and I'll show you how to do that. So there's a knob on the side here which you release. So release the center column, that comes up and will now swing out, and that will be adjustable sideways, so you can set the distance that you want the tripod to be, lock that in place. And this ratchet device here allows you to set the angle that you want. So we'll go for horizontal, like so. Got 360-degree rotation on there, so you can turn this round to whatever angle you need. Then you can lock that in place with the locking nut on the side. Then you can use the ball head. You've got a 360-degree ball head on here, so you can rotate this to the angle you want. And again, you've got the ball and socket joint on the top, so again you can set the camera to whatever angle you need. Once you've got all set up, just make sure your locks are tight. Now obviously if you're using a mirrorless camera or DSLR camera on here, you've got to take into account the torque effect of having a heavy camera on the end of the arm versus the weight of the tripod. Ideally you want the weight to be over a leg. You don't want it to be between the legs, because the weight is automatically going to try and pull the tripod over. But if the camera is over a leg, it's more difficult for it to pull over. Additionally, on the arm or on the center column, we've got a spring-loaded hook, and you can actually attach your camera bag to there, or a muslin bag with some stones you found locally, to just weight this down. Ideally on a bungee cord, so that the bag isn't swinging on here. It gives you like a pendulum effect and will cause the tripod to sway. But if you've got the bag on the ground with a bungee cord, just adding a little bit of tension to the center column, pulling it down, you'll get a much stable shot. So that is with the tripod in the horizontal position. Another feature of this tripod is the fact that you're going to unscrew the leg that's got the foam grip on it there and use that to be a monopod. Let's convert this to a monopod and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So we just need to unscrew this, and on the top of it is another 3/8 thread, and you can use that with the center column to provide you the access to a monopod. Now you can either use a full center column, but I found that is a little bit too high for me. So what you can do is take out the column here, and in this part of the column there's a screw threaded bush there. If you unscrew that, put it safely in your pocket, you've got access to another 3/8 thread there. So if I just slacken that out and take out that arm, if I just put this tripod down for the moment, you can now screw this into that. So you can see now that gives you a tripod with quite a bit of height, and if it was too high you can reduce the section from the bottom, so you can bring it up to that height. And again, if you find that still too high, you can take this section off and unscrew the ball head from the center column, and then screw the tripod into the tripod head. Again, it's got that 3/8 thread. So if you wanted to convert this into a monopod, then you can just set this to the height you want. So I probably want the second extension on there. So if I was using my mirrorless camera, I just need to drop this down a little bit to get to the height that I want. So it gives you plenty of flexibility with this system. And again, if you sort of pivot this from your body, you've got quite a good strong support for your camera, whether it's a DSLR or whether you're using a smartphone. Let me set it back up as a tripod and I'll show you how you can assemble this to give you macro shots low to the ground, or on those horizontal shots to get panoramas, etc. So let me set that up for you. Well, you can see I've got the iPhone 17 Pro Max fitted in the NEEWER PA144 cage, and I've got on here a variable ND plus quarter black mist plus circular polarizing filter, again from NEEWER, to give me a full if you like cinematic setup for using the iPhone 17. So that is how I would set it up for my horizontal shot if I wanted the arm extended. So I can actually pivot this down if I was photographing something lower down. You can slacken the head here, rotate the camera over, lock that in position, and I've got full control on the rotation to get my angle correct. If I wanted to be a bit higher, then I can use the legs or I can use the arm here. Just slacken that clamp and bring that up. Slacken this and move it out a little bit. Lock that in place. Lock the joint in place. Again, then I can set the camera to whatever angle I wanted for a particular shot. Remember again, with this, once you start to extend the arm fully out, you are running into that torque effect of trying to pull this over. So it's better again if you could put your camera bag on that hook on the bottom to give you some more stability. So that's how you can set up for a horizontal shot. Obviously you don't need the arm out if you're just doing a vertical shot. You can retract this in, so you just need to slide this out till it goes into the center. Turn that vertically and drop that back into the center column and lock it up with the two locking screws there. Then you can bring the camera back up to your vertical setting. And again, you've got a 360-degree rotation on the column itself if you wanted to use that, or you've got the 360 on the ball head if you wanted to slacken that and use that. It's quite damped, so you can get some fairly smooth operations. I'll just try a panorama for you on the iPhone 17 here. We're going to the video mode, recording it in video mode, and I'll just do a slow pan, just using the friction of that ball head in the top. Now normally if you want to do this professionally, of course you would use a fluid dumped ball head with an arm on there, so you could actually move this at a much slower pace, but it does give you a nice fluid effect, nice damping in there to give you this sort of fluid effect. If you wanted to use this vertically, in the bottom of the center column is this section here which has that spring on to attach your camera bag. If you remove that, and again store that safely in your pocket, it does mean that you can take out this center column and place it from underneath. So by just releasing that shaft there, you can bring this up, and now we can assemble this into the tripod from underneath. So again, if I was going to take some low shots, I could spread these legs out a little wider to give me that more accessibility, and then you've got the facility here with your ball head to get your camera into the correct angle for your top down shot if you want. So there are some dandelions here. What I'll do is I'll set up for that and just take some vertical shots of that to show you how this works. And so you can see here how I set up the iPhone 17 Pro Max with the PA 144 cage on that NEEWER TP63 tripod with the center column in the inverted position. So just spread the legs a little bit to get the height that you want, and then set the center column to give you the focus distance you want for these shots. And just start some video of that scene there. There's a couple of dandelions, and you can see that it's a really stable shot. So there you've seen some examples of using the NEEWER TP63 tripod in a variety of situations outdoors, using the vertical column, which gives you that 10 to 15 kilograms payload. If you're using the extended arm, then obviously that is reduced. Probably if you're using 6 kilograms, by the laws of physics, you want to try and get the moment of inertia to the same as 6 kilograms. So if you're out a foot, then on the other side you need to have 6 kilograms at a foot, or work out the mass to give you the correct balance. In that arm at one end there is that 3/8/16 threaded hole. You could actually put a counterbalance weight there if you wanted to, or attach another hook to enable you to put some counterbalance on the end of the arm to try and give you more stability. If you're using that center column and the hook, your bag suspended on there, use some elastic so that your bag is on the floor and the elastic is providing you the downforce. Then you're not getting the pendulum effect of the bag swinging backwards and forwards, which will give you some shake in the tripod. Construction wise, I think this is very well made. It's a mixture of plastic and metal and aluminium, but overall it's quite well engineered. The only problem I've had with this is the fact that the feet on here don't have a metal spike, so you are left with these rubber feet. I would prefer these to be given the opportunity of pulling out a metal spike or rolling this up to give you a metal spike on terrain that the rubber isn't conducive to, such as on this soft grass. You want something that you can penetrate into the ground to give you much better stability. But I guess at this price point we can't complain. And in the video description I'll put the link to where you can actually purchase this product. Well, that's it for the review. Thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you all very, very soon. Goodbye for now.